All right, guys, this is Josh Crane, the Josh Crane Podcast. Let's talk today. Shelby Jordan, born in Murfreesboro, December 28, 1992. 3 years old, she moves with her family to Reedville, Tennessee. For those of you who don't know, that's over in Cannon County, where I live. She went to Westside School, kindergarten through 8th grade, playing basketball, very athletic. Starting at 8 years old, she played travel softball. She continued to play ball all the way through high school, and in fact, her number is retired in Cannon County. If she is not first on the record, she is second in every stat. If there is such a thing as a family favorite, it was Shelby. She had a very special bond between her and her Uncle Kevin. She has a little boy named Cash. And on Wednesday, August 14th, 2019, she passed away. My guest today is a person that knows Shelby better than anyone on the planet, maybe other than her mother. Dennis Jordan. Dennis, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having us on here. Of course, trying to get Shelby's word out, trying to help other people is what I try to do.
Yeah. Trying
to beat the addiction. I think it's an uphill battle. I think it's always going to be an uphill battle. We're fighting Big Farm and all that. So
yeah. Well, before we hit record today, you and I were chatting a little bit, and one of the things that's really interesting to me about the approach that you're taking specifically, and frankly, I've been practicing law over 20 years, but I've never seen anybody doing it the way you're doing it. Is you're trying to reach people and explain to them, open their eyes to what the family deals with and goes through.
Right. I think this, when I go to speak, I tell them that I know this dealing with Shelby all the years is I think they lose focus on mom and dad and brothers and sisters. And if they have children, they're children. I think they lose focus on all that. And I don't understand it because I've never been an addict, but if I can get them, if I can get them to understand that mom and dad still love them, no matter what you do, your mom and dad love you. I promise you that. And so I tell them, I can guarantee three things in your life. God loves you. I promise you that. Your parents love you. And if you have children, they love you. Now, your children may not understand you, but they love you and they need you.
Yeah.
So let's get your life here. Let me help you try to help yourself here. Let's just do something.
That's a fact. Well, let's start at the beginning. Tell us about Shelby.
Shelby was born in, of course, this is a tough time of year being Christmas, and her birthday's 3 days later. So it's always a rough week for us. It's kind of a quiet day at our house Sunday, but anyway, Shelby was a great kid from birth till 16 or 17, 18 years old. Great kid. I mean, she was a kid that always pushed the envelope. She was going to push you. She was an envelope pusher, that's for sure. But part of me liked that about her. She wasn't going to take it from anybody. She was going to work for herself and make her own path and do all that. And some of that's great, and some of that, as we find out, is not so great. There's rough life out there. And the thing about Shelby is I couldn't get her to understand that just because people are your friend don't mean they want the best for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard on any addict to start understanding is they're not really your friends. But anyway, Shelby's a person, man, she would do anything for anybody in her family. She would just go do it. And I said about my brother, Kevin, he didn't have any daughters. And Shelby was the first girl born in our family, sort of our close-knit right here in Murfreesboro area. She was the first girl, so he just latched to her. And I remember, I don't know how old Shelby was, probably 2 or 3. me and Rachel went out of town for a weekend getaway, and Kevin kept the kids. Kevin and his wife kept the kids. And I come back on Sunday, and he's crying. I'm like, what are you crying about? He said, I had to whip Shelby. I'm like, okay, I do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a bond they had. And so when Shelby passed away and I had to call him, it was a rough day.
Yeah.
But he helped me get through it. We helped each other get through it. How about that? But anyway, Shelby, like I said, she was a good basketball player, a better softball player, and she worked hard at it. She worked hard until drugs came into her life, and then she quit. At first, it was her senior year, and I thought it was just senioritis. I thought it was just, she's tired of school. She's tired of, and I get it. This is February. She's going to graduate in 3 months. I get it. But we got to play ball. But anyway, she was a great softball player. Like I say, if she's not first on every stat, she's second. Kenzie Patterson, her best friend, and if you go to Cannon County High School, you'll see both their numbers retired. Yes. They were best friends. They hit third and fourth in our lineup. They were they were dominant. But that's who Shelby was. Shelby was, she loved kids, and I'm going to skip ahead here because when she got pregnant with Cash, as frustrated as I was because her being an addict, I knew she didn't need a kid. I knew she didn't know what kids really brought to your life. But part of me wanted to think, this may help her get her life straight. This may help her. And it did for 6 months or 8 months. You know what I'm saying? I say 6, 8, it wasn't even that long. But anyway, it didn't work like I hoped it would, you know what I'm saying, obviously. But after that, she was just she was great to Cash, I'm saying, when he was a baby, but just that kind of in and out of jail, she lost that motherly bond. Right. And if you talk to Bill Cope, he would tell you that, man, we were at everything the workhouse had. We were at everything just because I wanted him to know who his mother was, and I didn't want her to lose that bond with him. I didn't, because there's a motherly son bond or child bond and I tell people this. I think God made daddy's heart different than mama's heart. Yes. I think that's a fact.
It is.
I think most time dads are bad cops, moms are good cops, and that's fine. As a dad, I take that role. That's fine. I'll let Rachel be the good guy. She's good to me, so so she's gonna be good with her kids. So Anyway, but Shelby was a great person. She just couldn't figure it out. She would say, Dad, I'm trying to help them. I'm like, you can't help yourself. You can't even help yourself right now. Let's help you, and then we'll figure out a way to help them. Yeah. And then that's kind of where I've taken this, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I said it the other night, it just come to my mind is, maybe this is what Shelby means. I'm supposed to help them. I'll help them for you, Shelby. I got it. You just
right. So let's go back a minute. When Shelby was little, strong personality.
Oh yeah. Very strong. She was bullheaded, and both our daughters, and I think I told you this. Our daughter, our oldest one, Lauren, who is not really mine. When she was a year old, me and Rachel got married, but she's mine. You know what I'm saying? She don't remember life without me, and I don't really remember life without her. But she was a Tennessee State trooper. And our son now, he's a Metro police officer at the airport and a fireman. And so we kind of, in our family, it's kind of what happened to Shelby? You know what I'm saying? Where we go wrong? Because you go into the same rules of the same house, the same. Everything's the same. But anyway, Shelby was bullheaded. And I raised Lauren and Shelby both to be independent. Don't rely on a man. I hope you meet a great man. I want you to. I want you to get married and have kids. I do. But don't rely on anybody to help you. Learn how to let's figure it out ourselves. Let's do all that. So. But Shelby's bullheaded. Yeah, she's strong-headed. And you dealt with her. You knew a little bit.
Yeah, I know. When Shelby was growing up, I know she played ball. Was she an outside person?
Yeah.
Like to be outside?
Yeah. She didn't want to sit around the house much. She was a goer, and she would play ball. When she was little, she loved to play ball. That was what she liked to do. But she was always outside when she was little on swing sets, running down through the neighborhood. That's just who she was. People loved, like we spoke off record, that she was a people person. She liked people, and people liked her. Yeah.
Right.
She meet a stranger, would talk to anybody. Yeah.
Well, I remember when I dealt with Shelby, there are people that I deal with where when you meet them, you make certain judgments, and I don't mean that necessarily in a negative way, but and maybe especially with what I do, you're trying to kind of feel a person out. Like, are you going to be honest with me, or are we going to do this dance? What's happening? But Shelby was one of those people that I dealt with that she was kind.
Yeah. She was kind.
You knew that. I mean, regardless of the circumstances that we were dealing with at the time, she was a good person.
Yeah.
You knew that. You could see that.
Right. She was a good person. And she wouldn't hurt anybody. She's not trying to hurt anybody. She wouldn't want to do that. But I laugh because you come in our story a lot of times, because I would tell people Shelby's first time in court, all the time she was in court through all of her arrests and stuff like that, I was there every time. I wasn't there to get her out of the trouble. I was there to watch her. First of all, I wanted her to know I'm right here. I will help you. I can't do it for you. But, and I've always been this way. If you did it, you got a price to pay. That's just the rules in life. You know what I'm saying? We got something we got to clear up here. And so I tell people, I said, look, Shelby's first time in court, best I remember, she didn't know what to do. And so she called me over, and I spoke with you then. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm like, well, what's our options? You know what I'm saying? So that, so she'd get in trouble and she wouldn't know, which early on, she didn't know, she was scared, so to speak. I don't know what to do here. Well, right. First of all, don't do that. Yeah. But anyway, she would always she would never do anybody. She wasn't hateful naturally. She could get there, but she wasn't naturally a hateful person.
Right.
But family members some days. But that's just family. I mean, we keep that in.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? To a person, she would not be.
Yeah. So with Shelby, can you point to a specific time or a specific incident that changed?
Yeah, I can. So Shelby is playing, in out of school. A lot of people don't know if you're not involved in school sports. It's not just in school. It's summertime too. You're playing all the time. If you're going to play high school sports, you're playing. And so Shelby broke her big toe. And I would tell Rachel, she's running funny. Something's wrong with her. And she would say, Dad, my big toe hurts. My big toe hurts. Well, I'm thinking she's got turf toe, gout, whatever. I thought she was too young for gout, but maybe, Well, we took her, got x-rays, nothing wrong. I could tell by running, she's not running the way she could run. And finally we got an MRI done on her. Her toe was broke long ways. And so when the bone would sever, when she stepped, so they put screws in it and they put her on OxyContin. And at that time, I don't know what OxyContin is. I'm like, it didn't come with any instructions of, hey, this is addictive. This is all that. I didn't know any of that, or I don't remember the doctors. I remember thinking, now that I think, well, they didn't tell me any of that could be addictive. They didn't tell me that. But I'm thinking, why would a doctor give us anything that's going to hurt her? Why would they? I'm not saying they did on purpose. I'm not saying they do it on purpose. What I'm saying is I think they ought to be more instructive. Yeah. Especially when you're giving it to a teenage kid.
What year was that? Do you remember?
2010.
Okay.
2000. Yeah, probably 2010. 2000. She graduated in 11, so it'd been 10, the summer of 10.
So she has a relatively minor surgery.
Yeah, just no big deal. We didn't think it was a big deal. Had screws put in.
And yet they put her on one of the heaviest, hardest narcotics.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they should sit me down and say, "Hey, look, this could be bad." I'm not saying that, but it ought to become with some. Hey, watch this. You know what I'm saying? Don't let her just keep doing these.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we kind of would know then. You know what I'm saying? And what I didn't know, and I told you earlier, the thing about Shelby, she was always honest. Until she wasn't. And then you have to backtrack and find out, where did this start? You see what I'm saying? We have to go back. And I'd had some surgery. I helped with high school football down there, and I had some surgery on my elbow. And they gave me some OxyContin. This is all about the same time. Well, I took one on the way home or whatever to get me through that day, but I just put them in well, then we find out Shelby's been taking them. Well, I go look at mine. Mine's empty.
Oh, wow.
So, you know what I'm saying? Now you have to start researching. All right, how far back are we going here? So I don't know. I'm not saying that she was heavy into it right then. I'm just saying she figured out that she liked it. And like I told you earlier, she would be able to tell you, I like it. I'm like, I don't know why that is. I don't understand why people get that way, but that's also come from somebody who's never been an addict. I don't know. Right. I don't understand taking something that can affect your thinking. I don't like to be in that state of mind. I want to know what's going on around me. I want to know who's around me, what's around me. Anyway, but so I had to start tracking back, and I can go back to about then. You know what I'm saying? This is where we started. This is where it all went south on us, because her attitude changed. And I tell people, look, they say, oh, her grades have changed, her friends have changed, not really. She graduated 4.0. I I don't know. You know what I'm saying? The signs wasn't there. Her attitude had changed, but I'm thinking senioritis. I'm thinking she's ready to get out of school. She's ready to get out of here. She's ready,
So was that surgery like between her junior and senior years?
Yes, there's a summer between the two of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a summer between the two of them. The best I remember, I don't remember exactly what month it was or anything, but it was somewhere in that time. And we, it caught us off guard. How about that? It just, I wasn't ready for all of that in life. I thought I still think we've done a good job raising her.
I don't disagree with that. Prior to that surgery and the introduction of OxyContin, had there ever been any drug issues with Shelby?
No. And I say all this is together because I told you off record that we found a marijuana joint in her car. But I'm pretty sure that was during this time. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty, I didn't write anything down back then. I just was like, but I'm pretty sure that was during this time of all this going on.
Well, that's okay. That's interesting to me because that's kind of where I was going is in my mind, trying to think about it rationally, which I know you can't always do when you're dealing with drug addicts, but the OxyContin that the doctors gave her ran out at some point.
Yeah. Right.
And if by that point she was already, the mind was already starting to change,
right?
And we need that. She's got to be looking for something else,
right? And she went from that. I mean, like I said, I found marijuana joint. I heard stories of her buying some stuff from the store, some whatever that stuff is from the store. I think she was searching for anything to help me get back to where I wanted to be.
Okay.
I'm looking for that feel, looking for that whatever they do. I don't know exactly how to say that, but I got to get that high. I got to get that next one. I got to get back to where I need.
Well, and I think we've heard this story again and again and again.
Right.
Is we introduce you to something like OxyContin. That's a major one in this country. But we introduce you to something like that. But at some point, the doctor doesn't write that to you anymore. Right. You can't have any more of that.
Yeah.
Well, now you start looking for a substitute. You start looking for something that's going to fill that void. And you're chasing that high. You're chasing that feeling.
Yeah, and you can't find it. It's hard for them. They try everything on the street. They try whatever, And so, I don't know. I tell people that Shelby turned 18 December before she graduated. And that December from her birthday, when she come to me on her birthday and said, I'm moving out, I was like, no, you're not. We got to get you through school. And it was... I mean, don't get me wrong, to her birthday was pretty, I mean, we were getting rough, but after her birthday to May to get her graduated, wasn't a fun time at our house. It wasn't fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying every day was terrible. I'm just saying it wasn't the house we had. You know what I'm saying? She disrupted it a little bit. It got to be more about her than everybody else. And in our house, we always kept it about, hey, everybody's the same. Everybody, and she at that time it just seemed like she required so much attention. Something was always going on with her. What are we doing? Why is this, anyway. So it was a rough time from December to May to get her graduated. And I tell people she was late to her own graduation party going to get high. Walked in high. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is your party. And she moved out the next morning. And I tell people this, and this is exactly what happened the day she moved out. She looked at me and said, Dad, I'm fixing to show you how to live. And I said, and she's sarcastic and I'm sarcastic. And I said, well, good. I hope you do, because I want to know how you live and have all this stuff with no job. That's what I would like to do. So show me what you think you're going to do. And we see where we're at. You know what I'm saying? The thing about Shelby is her senior year in high school, she led the state in on-base percentage. But we had to suspend her. And I'm a coach. We had to suspend her games for skipping practices and not, like Shelby. So she didn't have enough at bats to fully register. She was 4 bats short. I know what she was. I mean, on her dad, I kept up with her stats. I know what she was short, But ended up being 4 bats short. But anyway, I said that to say that even through all she didn't have a great senior season because she really was ready to go. But anyway, she had some. Middle was going to offer a quarter scholarship. There's no full rides in softball. There's not. But Swanee called and wanted her to come up there for a visit. So we went to Swanee and Coach George up there. And Shelby, at that time, wanted to be a nurse. So we go to Swanee for a visit, and they don't have nursing, they have pre-med. And Shelby said, I want nursing. And I don't know anything about it. I'm just like, well, she wants nursing, I don't know. Well, Coach George said, well, give me a few days to work on it. and I'll call you back. So a couple of days later, Coach George calls me back and says, okay, if Shelby will come here and play 4 years of softball, and they done told her, you will start as our first baseman the first day one, you'll be our first baseman. And she'll play 2 years of basketball just to help out some financial stuff. She'll play 2 years of basketball. We will give her, after she graduates here, we will give her 2 years at Vanderbilt to be nursing. They're just going to give it to her. And I thought, as I'm on the phone, I'm like, oh, this will work. This will be great. So I ain't going to school that long. I'm not doing it that long. Well, if we want to boil it down, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. She died in 19.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just shit. What we decided to do with the 7 years in between. You know,
right.
What are we doing?
And not to diminish any other person, but man, when you hear that's tough.
Yeah. To know that we could have had her set up, and to know the route we could have had her on. And the truth is this, I knew there was problems. Look, I can blame Woodbury if I want to. I love Woodbury. Woodbury is a great town to me. I can blame Cannon County. I can blame Woodbury. I can blame Murfreesboro. I can blame Rutherford County. I can blame Smyrna. Where all the places you got in trouble. The truth is this, Shelby still has responsibility in all of it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I don't do, and that's what people like about my story is I don't let Shelby off the hook. She's still to blame here. Now, look, I can blame friends. I can blame communities. I can blame all these people. But I got to go back to Shelby.
Yeah. Well, and look, that's a fair approach because it's the way it is for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is all of those other entities or people may have played some role.
Right.
Right. It could have been better.
Right.
But yeah, at the end of the day, Shelby was still responsible for Shelby.
You got to be responsible for you.
But what I was saying, what's so sad about that to me, and I've seen this, more than once, is we're talking about a girl who, I mean, literally the world was at her fingertips.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got people out here that would love to go to the University of South.
Yeah.
And they're begging her to go.
Yeah. And
when you're just like, look, I'm not going because you don't have the program I want. They're like, wait, give me a couple days.
Yeah.
Here's what we'll do.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a testament to two things. It's a testament to the way that she was raised, and it's a testament to who she was at her core.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it sad. And it's also what I think fuels a lot of the anger.
Yeah.
Is that's also what was robbed from her.
Right. And, the thing is you're fighting that battle and you're wanting as a dad, of course, you're your dad now. It's one of the deals where you're like, I don't want to run her life. I'm not trying to run my kids' life. I don't. So I'm trying to let her make decisions. You know what I'm saying? Hey, okay, Shel. I mean, I guess. I think you're turning down a great opportunity. I think you're doing, I think you need to think about this. Or we just don't say no right off the bat. Let's just hang on a second. Of course, she wasn't living at home much. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't around much. I'm like, Shel.
By this point, had drugs totally consumed her?
Yeah. I mean, it was one of them deals where, so we had a rule at our house. Cell phones had to be on the counter at 9 o'clock. I don't care if you're 8th grade or senior in high school. At 9 o'clock, phones on the kitchen counters, getting charged, go to bed. Or go to your room and get ready for bed. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You ain't got to go bed till 10, but start winding the night down. Mm-hmm. But we done that for all three of them. And me and Rachel laughed because it seemed like every night was a fight with Shelby to do that. Every night. It seemed like every night. More times than not. Shelby, bring your phone down. Bring your phone. Why can't I just sleep with it in my room? Because you won't. And look, this is my business phone, but to me, this is one of the worst things ever invented.
Yeah, yeah.
If society didn't have these, I think we'd have a better society. I just do. You know what I mean? I love it because it gets me out of the office. I can just have my phone on me. But sometimes I'd rather just sit in the office and not have to worry about that right there. When I walk out of the office, it's gone. I ain't worry about that now.
Yeah.
But I think this is a problem for kids. I think it's a problem for teenage kids. I think it's a problem for students, kids, high school kids, because they get addicted to this. They got to have the phone. Right. And I would tell Shelby, you got to learn what your triggers are. And as her dad, I knew what her triggers were. I knew it was her friends. I knew it was her phone. And I knew it was Woodbury, Murfreesboro area. These are three things that you cannot stand to be around. Mm. You can't get over going to the bad places. You can't get over texting the wrong people. Like I say, she was locked up for 18 months. I know she was clean. Come out 2 weeks later, we got a problem.
Right.
What are we doing? It's your people. You know.
So when she moves out, I mean, literally, she graduates, and the next day she's out.
Yeah.
Where does she move to?
She had a boyfriend, and he was still in high school. But I think his dad let her move in. It was a single dad with one boy. And that's where she went and stayed a lot. She'd jump around from this friend's house to that friend's house. Didn't really have one place.
Okay.
But she would mooch off people, not mooch as far as sleeping. You know what I'm saying?
So would it be fair to say that, as opposed to maybe even just a strong-willed kid that says, listen, I'm 18 and now I've graduated, I'm going to go forge my own path, Shelby was more of like, I got to get away from the structure and the control.
Right.
And I want to go live my life, but living my life really means I want to go do what I want to do.
Right. Shelby did. She did. And her being hard-headed, she wasn't she wasn't structured kind of a person. You know what I'm saying? She didn't just let me do what I wanted. She wanted to free will everything, you know. And that went to practices. That went to, like we do, when you coach a team and stuff, you have structure how I'm going to run my practice. We battled with her during that. Shelby, you know this is how we do the drill. This is what we got to do. Well, this is stupid. It don't matter if it's stupid. We're doing it. You know what I'm saying? It was just a battle with her structure. And that's the first time it's ever really come up. Really, if I think about it, she had a hard time with structure. You know what I mean? She wanted to free will everything. I'm like, just do it this way. It'd be a whole lot easier on you.
Yeah.
We'll get to work and we'll be out of here. You know what I'm saying? You're wanting to goof off for 20 minutes. 20 minutes, we'll be done. We'll be gone. You know. But
so talk to me about you and Miss Rachel. I mean, by the time Shelby moves out, you're already dealing with a problem. You already know a problem exists.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary enough, me thinking about my kids moving out. I mean, that's scary enough, but on top of that, what y'all were dealing with.
Well, here's the deal is this. We would, and my dad told me this when I moved out. Son, I worry more about you now that you're gone than you did when you lived here. I knew you was going to be at it night. I knew you'd be here. You're gone. I don't have no control over you. I don't know where you're at. My dad told me that when I was 18, And so I kind of passed that on to my kids. Hey, look, don't be afraid to call us. Don't be afraid to, everybody make mistakes. We'll get over it. But anyway, yeah, it was rougher on Rachel being a mom. Like I told you earlier, mom's hearts are different than dad's hearts, I think. I think it, and I'm going to put myself down here a little bit. Some of me was glad not to deal with it every moment, every minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie about that. That's the truth. I was like, I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm tired of her attitude. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. So I'm not saying every day, but some days I'm like, golly, not my problem. But I mean, the truth is you're a parent. It's still your problem.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're 18 or 38. I don't care. I mean, it's still your problem. You're still dad. You're still, but dealing with Shelby, all this, I would always be the bad cop. Rachel would be the good cop. So Rachel and Shelby's communication was always pretty good. She would always call Rachel and just check in every day or so. Just call mom and say, hey, everything's good. I'm good. Shelby wouldn't call me much. I would see her and talk to her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to lie. I seen her in some gas stations looking like I don't know what. And I'd walk back out. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that today. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's my daughter. You know what I'm saying? That's my,
Yeah.
The truth is, Shelby, when she was born, she's my firstborn, She had me wrapped around the finger from day one. You know what I mean? That was my girl. And I mean, I can get mad and say, well, Drugs took my daughter. Well, that's true. That's not who I raised. Even when you got to know, that's not who I raised.
Right.
We don't do that. I'm not saying we're perfect law people. I'm just saying there's rules in this country. There's rules you don't do, and there's laws you don't break, and you're breaking them. We don't do that. We're good people. We try to be good blue collar people, Shelby. Just go to work, do your deal, and I'll help you all I can help you. But I ain't gonna lie, there's some things I didn't want to help her with because I thought, I'm going to tough love her right here. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. And I read an article, and I'm not a big reader, but I read an article the other day talking about tough love, and it said, tough love's okay until you make it abandonment. And I thought, don't abandon them. You know what I mean? Don't.
Right.
And I can go back and say, I think I did right there. I can go back to think in my mind things we did that I didn't do. I'm thinking, man, I kind of abandoned her. I kind of, thinking I was tough loving her and just left her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's there's stories in my life, our lives together, I guess, that I can think, man, knowing what I know today, I wouldn't do it that way today.
Sure.
Sure. But I didn't know any different back then.
Yes.
I'm just going through the time of I'm mad and she's mad and we're not happy with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's things I would do different. And that's why I would really like to, I go around talking to addicts and recovery houses, but I would really like to talk to parents going through it right now. Let me tell you some things I learned, things I shouldn't have done, things I should have done better.
Right.
And I don't know how to start a group like that. I've only been doing this 5-6 months, whatever. But man, I would really, my heart is with the addicts because I want to talk to them and let them know your parents love you. Don't put them where I'm at. Your parent, I promise you, no parent wants to be right here.
Yeah.
But back to Shelby, there's some things just some things I said.
Sure.
Out of anger, out of you're not listening to me,
Yeah.
And I guess as a dad, you have to learn that she's not really in your control anymore. She's not, she's going to do her own deal,
Right. So what year was it when she graduated?
11.
So 2011. So she graduates May of 2011. Immediately moves out.
Yeah.
And I told you before we went on, I pulled her stuff just to see it.
Yeah.
So her first, at least foray into the criminal justice system comes in, looks like May of 2013. So we make it 2 years.
Yeah. And here's the truth is, I don't even know about that. So the story I've been telling is the first time I go to court with her, the first time I know her going to jail was December of 2013.
Okay.
She went to Cannon County Jail.
Okay. All of this is Murfreesboro.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. See, I don't know.
So
was that a possession or something?
Yep. So here's what we've got. If we start in May of 2013, she's charged with looks like a possession Schedule II drug. And according to the record, she was given judicial diversion. So that tells me that was a first offense for her. And whoever represented her at the time negotiated something and she got diversion, which means if she successfully completed the probationary period, they would have expunged it from her record the whole 9 yards. But she'll end up violating that probation in 2015. At the same time, she actually picked up 2 separate cases the same day. So she had some drugs on her, 2 separate things. Then we move forward. So that's May of 2013. By February of 2014, she's picked up her first theft charge. That one can't go away because she's already had a diversion. The diversion most likely was taken away. So she ends up pleading guilty in 2014 to that charge. We move forward to January of 2015, another theft charge. Move forward to 2019, another theft charge. Now this becomes interesting right here. And I want to say this because I see this and I know parents that go through this, they're going to see the same pattern. They just see it in a different environment than I see it. Yeah. Drugs and theft almost always go hand in hand.
Yeah, I would say that. I could prove you that.
They go hand in hand. But that gets us up to January of 19. Now, what's interesting to me is we look at this, we go, okay, well, 13, we've got a problem. We make it for a little while. 14, we pick up a theft charge. We make it all the way to 15 before we get charged again. So it's kind of sporadic.
Right.
I mean, we're picking up like 1 a year. But by the time we get to 2019, January 14, January 17, January 22, January 31, all of those are different. Yeah. So it's like boom, 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 one after another. Yeah. And I, as we were talking before, I raised that because you can see that escalation.
Yeah. And I use this, as I say, if Shelby went through her life, this is what it seems like to me. I could line up 100 guys, and 99 of them would be gold star citizens. One dude be a dirtbag. That's who she's going to pick. Yeah. It just seemed that way to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Rachel woke my eyes up one day. She said, "Have you ever thought it's your daughter's the dirtbag?" And I'm like, "No, I never thought."
We don't want to think that way.
No, I didn't think that way. I'm like, "Oh, no, it's not my daughter." But it woke my eyes up to it. Wait a minute. But now I will tell you this, and people who know her where I've spoke at will verify this. Every boyfriend she got worse and worse and worse and worse, and so did that.
Yeah.
Deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
Well, I'll say this. The clients that I've had over the years that would be in the same category as Shelby, young girls from good families, if there is a drug problem, I would venture to, I'd have to look at files to be for certain, but I feel pretty confident I can say 100% of the time there's a dude there that's facilitating it.
Yeah.
And it's not usual, at least for me in my experience, to see a young girl on her own delve into this lifestyle.
Right.
It's normally introduced to her and perpetuated by the male counterpart that's with her.
Right. And this is just me, and I can't say like you, this is what you do for a living. It's not what I do for a living. I would say most of the men that's doing that to young girls have no father.
Yep. I'd put money on that.
But I just know this. And I tell my son, who is now be 30 in February, I tell my son the difference between Shelby and him, you treat boys different. If I would have had this problem with him, we wouldn't have that problem that long.
Right.
You just discipline them different. That's what I think. That's the way I was raised. That's what I'd have done to him. But Shelby would, it just seemed to me like every guy that I would see her with, I'm like, what are you doing? And I could not get her to understand is, for a while there, she was the only one in her group that had a car. And I couldn't get her to understand it. Shelby, it's not you. It's the car.
Right.
It's the car. Well, she kept, I'll get into one of the stories right quick. And I can't remember if it was Easter or Mother's Day. That's really close that year. And this is 19. And she wanted to come out and see Cash. Now, we adopted. At this time we had already had emergency custody of Cash. We already went and got emergency custody of him. But I'd always told her, you can come out of our house anytime and see him. I'm not going to keep you from your son. I don't want to be proud of the way I raise your son. I want to be proud of the way you raise your son. And those who have kids will know that in life, the grand thing is your kids are your pride and joy. Everything else is just material stuff.
Yeah.
The kids is what really means something to you. But anyway, she comes out. And Rachel had asked me to stay out there with them because me and Shelby had a friction. We would just, if I seen she come out not looking right or something, it hit me the wrong way every time. So I would just kind of stay out of the way and let Rachel and Cash and Shelby have a good night. I'd come in and I'd say, hey, how you doing and stuff like that, but I wouldn't sit there and just meddle in their business. But Rachel had asked me to stay out there, so I did, and it was a good night. It was 3 hours or so, and Shelby got ready to go, and so I went back in my office, was going to do some work, and Rachel would walk out to the car. Or it wasn't a minute, 2 minutes. Rachel come back in bawling and saying, "Can you go out there and talk to her? She's F-bombing me the whole way out there." And I tell people, look, when I went out there, I was not in a good mood. I was not. I was tired of her talking to her mother that way. I was tired of, And so she was sitting down in her car with the door open, and I was pointing down there and said, Shelby, quit blaming me and Mom for your problems. These are your problems, not me and Mom's. I will help you, but I can't do it. And she got that car squared up. She wanted to fight. And she swung at me. And I promise you this. I felt the wind go by. I thought, that would hurt. But, and I could tell she had been in some street fights. Something happened here. She's changed. And I had enough time to think. When she swung, I thought, if she swings again, I'm going to deck her. I'm tired of it. I'm just going to beat the crap out of her. But the Lord spoke to my heart. He said, do not do that. Because if you beat her up, she can go down and tell her friends, my dad beat me up, and that would be right. She would be right on that. That'd be a mark on me. And I don't, but I said, okay. But she swings again, she's going to pay a price. And she did, and I slapped her. And I knocked her to the ground. But I picked her up, and I got on top of her, and I said, Shelby, you don't understand my anger this whole thing. You don't understand where I'm at with this. And so I picked her up, and I hugged her. Shelby, look, I love you, hon. I can't do anything for you. You don't want anything. You want me to do it all. I can't do everything. You have to do it. I said, I'll get in your car and get out of here. And she said, you can't make me. And I put her in her car and said, and I sarcastically said, what else can I not do? Shelby, I can do it. And so she goes down the driveway. We had a long driveway. She calls her Rachel and she says, I'm going back in town. I'm going to get my boyfriend and bring him back out here. And I said, do that. Yeah, do that. That's who I really want to see. Bring him out here. And she, of course, she didn't. That was an idle threat, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't get Shelby to understand this, Shelby. I'm not about beating you up. I'm not about any of that. I'm about helping you. That's what I'm here for. But I can't come in front of you. You have to start the lead, and then I will help behind you. And I tell people, like, she would come make deals with, hey, go to 28-day probation, go to drug court, and look, I am not a 28-day gay weekend. I'm not. I think it's a get out of jail free card is what I really think it is. Now, I'm not saying they don't work. They do if you want to get sober. If they do if you want to. But you can't send a 19, 20-year-old girl there thinking, look, it's a get out of jail free card. The beach jail.
Right.
So I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not against them if they're trying to help people, but for somebody in her situation, like this, that don't work. I mean,
well, and the reality is 28 days isn't long enough.
You can't change your mind in 28 days.
No.
And she was rough with it. Look, we took her down to Madison down there, Bradford.
Yep.
Great place. I have nothing against it. But I told that lady, I said, do not put her with a weak counselor because she'll run over her. And she did. We went down there for that 3-day family thing. And we had lunch with Shelby. She's as mad as the day that I dropped her off. She's as mad. And she just dogs out her counselor. I mean, just has no good words about her at all. So we go talk to the counselor. That counselor said, did you have lunch with Shelby? I said, yeah. She said anything about me? I said, yeah, she did. You mind telling me? I said, you want me to tell you the truth? She said, yeah. She said, you're a fat bee. And that girl started crying. I said, oh, right. Shelby's done whipped her. You know what I mean? I told him that. You know,
Right.
Look, if I would tell anybody, look, if anybody knows their kids, it's the parents. Ask the parents. They know her. They know what they're capable of or not capable of. They wouldn't do it. I would never say my kid would never anymore. Oh, Shelby would never do that. Hey, I don't know. I mean, the depths of drugs lead these kids is unbelievable to me. It is unbelievable. I mean, like Shelby and her friends, you say the thefts on there. Some of that stuff was ours.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
And I would tell people this, prosecute them.
Yeah.
You're not helping if you let them off of it. You're not helping. And so I remember going to a pawn shop, and they had stole Rachel's first wedding. We had our 25th wedding anniversary, and I bought Rachel a new wedding set. So Rachel had the first ones we had, and they were going to be Shelby's. Shelby, these are me and Mom's. We'll give them to you. They stole them and pawned them. And so I remember finding them, and when I found them, I went in there and I said, and Rachel was with me. I said, do you have anything Shelby Jordan pawned? No. I said her boyfriend's name. Yeah. Well, they brought it out. There was that wedding band set. And Rachel, I promise you, hit the floor. She was bawling. Broke her heart. It broke her heart. So I have to deal with that first. It broke my heart. See my golly.
Yeah.
I wish Shelby could have seen that. Do you not see?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, but I think when I listen to you talk, and I guess the benefit that I have now of having a conversation like this is I've got kids of my own. I've got a son that's 20 and a daughter that's 16 and another daughter that's 11. And so though I have never experienced what you've experienced, I'm not without the ability to relate to it, the anger. I think this is something, and I look back on my own life and I think, man, I didn't understand it when it was my parents.
Right.
My kids don't understand it when it's me. But the anger that you feel in that situation it's a different kind of anger.
Yeah.
It's an anger, in my opinion, that's rooted in helplessness. Yeah. Because you're angry that you can't fix it.
Right. And I tell people, look, every court date Shelby ever went to, and you were at some of them, I was there every time. Not to get her out of trouble. I'm right here. Right. I'm right here. I want to help you. But I can't go in front. You have to. And so we'd come over and talk to you or whoever was representing her at that time. What's our choice? What's her choices? And she'd say, Dad, what do you want me? What should I do? Well, if you're asking me, this is what I would do. You know what I'm saying? But it's your call, Shelby. I mean, you got some penalty to pay here, so.
But the wedding band story, that's powerful because again, it speaks to what you're trying to get people to understand.
Yeah.
It's not, look, we can look at this and we can say, listen, stealing anything from somebody's wrong. Yeah. All right, fine. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you come in and you take my chainsaw and you go pawn it, I'm gonna be like, that gummy, you shouldn't take my chainsaw. Right. But when you are in such a state that you take something like your parents' wedding band set, that you you know that's a sentimental value.
Yeah.
It's something that your mother and your father are looking at, and they're saying, one day this becomes yours.
Yeah.
It's a legacy issue.
Right.
For you to have no more value in that
Right.
than to take it to the pawn shop and get $30
Right.
is just,
Yeah.
you can't understand that
Yeah.
from a rational mindset.
Right. So we're at the pawn shop, and that guy says, do you want to buy it back? I said, no, I've already bought it once. He said, well, I said, but I'm going to get it back. Just call the law. And Shelby and her boyfriend would feel better about each other. If they stole from his family, she would pawn it. If they stole from our family, he would pawn it. It made in their wicked way of feeling, it made themselves feel better.
It made more sense.
Yeah, it made herself feel better about who they were. I'm like, Shelby, you told him where to get it, or you went and got it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and I remember, this is early on. My grandmother lived in Murfreesboro, and my grandfather had already passed away. And I was the only kid around close. My dad's a truck driver. He's still in town, but he's on the road all the time. And so I had a key to my grandma's house to either go check on her. If she went to my aunt's in Kentucky, I'd go check on her house, make sure everything's good and stuff like that. And I remember my grandmother come down with Alzheimer's and stuff, and so they moved her to Kentucky. And my uncle called me from Kentucky, and he's at my grandmother's house, and he said, hey, did you take Grandma's TV? I'm like, why do I need her TV? I don't have her TV. You know, so I was like, I don't know. I didn't put it together. Like, no, I don't have it. Thinking, I don't know what happened to it. I figured y'all took it, you know, if it's gone. So I don't know. It clicked on me one day. I was like, wait a minute. I got that key to Grandma's house.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to Grandma's house. Up in the garage was the box to that TV. We got the serial number and everything out of it. It'd been pawned by one of Shelby's friends. Mm. And you talk about heartbreak for me. Now I have to go to my family and say, hey, I got it. I found it. And I don't know what made me click. I don't know what made me put two and two together there right quick. I'm like, I guess because I got the key and was headed over to Grandma's house to see them. I'm like, I don't know if they're there yet. I'll take my key in case they're not there yet. And I thought, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And she'd already been in a little trouble, but nothing, you know. Mm-hmm. But I was, for lack of a better term, I was hell-bent she's going to pay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting you out of any trouble. If you stole from us, you're going to get prosecuted. I think that's the best way to go. Mm-hmm. I don't think me helping her, oh, Shelby, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You know, I don't think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I just don't.
So from the time she graduated, let's say until the first time she picked up legal problems, were there ever periods of time where she came to y'all and said, hey, listen, I've got to get out of this. I need help?
No. I don't know that didn't come until after Cash was born. I don't know. I don't remember. Now, she may have came to Rachel, but not seriously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Rachel never forwarded it to me the best I remember. But as far as saying, hey, I got to get with these people. Now, she come out of jail one time and said, I've got to get out of here. And I agreed. And so we sat down and talked about it. And she said, I want to move to Florida. And that's fine, Shelby. I'll pay for it all. I'll move you to Florida. But what I want you to know is, if you're going to go to Florida and look for the same stuff, you'll find it.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a fact. I've told people that myself. I had a client in the past. Probably within the last year, I talked to them, and they told me, they called me to get something, and they said they were moving to another state. It's a fresh start and all this. And I told them, I said, that's fine, but understand that nothing magical happens when you leave the Tennessee borders. No. Like, if you want the same stuff that you want here, they've got it there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the place doesn't change any. I don't know what that was going to do for her. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to go down there and you're looking for your drug of choice, it's there. Yeah. I promise you. It's not city based. It's a problem everywhere. It's not just Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Rutherford County. It's not Woodbury. It's not Smyrna. It's not Laverne. It's not any of that. It's Destin. Yeah. All your big cities, they got it. Every town's got it. It doesn't matter. And I when I was younger, it's funny. I always knew drugs were in school. They're in school. But they're in Christian schools too.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you that.
That is a fact.
I had a Christian friend tell me, said, it's in our school too. We just got money to get it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. You know what I mean? I don't, that's weird to me. And I'm not putting down Christian schools. I love them. You know what I'm saying? But it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You can't, look, drugs don't respect anybody. I don't care how much money you have or don't have. I don't care what color I don't care. I don't care what your parents do. I don't care what color you are. I don't care anything about any of that.
Yep.
It'll get you too. If you're gonna play with them, they're gonna get you. It's not nothing to play with, you know. But that's just who I am. You know what I mean, that's just, you know, what I've learned over the last 15 years, I guess. You know, whatever it's been now. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to believe she's been gone 6 years, because some days it seems like yesterday. Mm-hmm. Then some days it seems like forever. You know what I mean? Like, man, I ain't, you know. And so we still have pictures in our house of her. We still have. I don't want her son to know. I want him to know who she was.
Right.
I want him to know that she was a good person. And when we talk about Shelby around our house, it's never bad. Mm-hmm. Now when I think about Shelby, it's not bad. I think about the good times we had. Now I can go down the bad road we can't, like we're doing today a little bit, but it's not what I normally think about her.
Because that's not who she was.
Right. You know,
it's I know not who she was.
I know who I raised. You know what I mean? And that's not what I raised. And her friends will tell you that she could make her friends laugh so hard. And I still go to Canyon County a lot. Like the head basketball coach on the boys, Coach Nave. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I helped coach him in middle school. He graduated with Shelby. Okay. Cash was in his wedding. That's how close they were. And so that's how close we are to him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he lets Cash come to his locker room. Cash got just about free reign over there. They just love Cash. But there's 3 or 4 people in that graduation class that treat Cash like they did Shelby. I mean, hey, he's just part of ours. He's part of our group. You know, he's part of, and I love that about him. They'll take and put flowers on her grave when they'll call and say it's okay. Y'all do what you want to with it. You know, if you want to put flowers on there, you can put a light on there, whatever you want to do. You're welcome to do that. You know what I'm saying? I know they're not going to do anything stupid. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because you'll know this, but all these people who she thought was her friends, over time, whether it's on her Facebook page, it's still open because we don't know how to shut it off. But just look from the time she died to her first birthday after she died. Oh, you have a whole list. Go check it today. One person. Heather Campbell. Then the friends are gone.
Yeah, because they were never friends.
They're not friends, Shelby. They're not friends. They're users.
Yeah.
And let me say this. The same way Shelby was to them.
Yeah, that's fair.
If we're gonna put them people down, let's put Shelby down a little bit too, because she'd be the same way on them. We don't think about them no more. You don't want to think of them because that's harsh truth.
Right.
That's the truth of what could happen.
Well, it's your future.
Yeah. I mean, Shelby told me one time that she left a party and somebody overdosed in the front yard. They just walked over. I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
My first instinct is to help. And I don't know if maybe it's a cool factor. Hey man, you got, what's cool about that? I don't understand what's cool about that. I don't understand all that. But I've never been a druggie either. Never been an addict. Right. And like I say, the first 5 years, I was just mad. I mean, for lack of a better term, I said to you, for lack of a better term, y'all kind of disgusted me. You just y'all are the problem. And I don't know what happened come first of last year. I just started putting more thought into it. And I thought, man, addicts are a problem in our society. But the truth is this, society's a problem for our addicts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, I'm not saying they're not at fault. I'm just saying they need help. But they need to understand you need help. You can't do it. You have a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need help. Don't make you any less of a person than anybody else. Let's get you some help.
Yeah.
That's what I wish people would have done with Shelby. Hey, let's get you some help.
Right.
Whether it be, look, we took her in 4 or 5 rehabs. We've done all that. That was all out of pocket. That was, Shelby, I can't let you break us. We own a company. We own a business. I can't let you break the company over trying to help you. You're not taking it seriously, or something's going on.
Well, and that's part of the problem. And that's part of the frustration that, I'm not going to say everybody, and I've got my own issues. I think the system's broken in a lot of ways. But this is one of those issues where you cannot punish it out of them. And it doesn't matter how many carrots you hang in front of them. It doesn't matter how many rehabs you offer to them. They have to have ownership of it.
Yep.
And if they don't take ownership of it, it's not an issue that you can fix.
Right. So let me share a story with you. So we get Shelby, and I don't remember exactly how it went down. She had gotten some trouble and she had to go to a rehab. I had to find a 12-month rehab. And I don't know if they furloughed her in jail because she was pregnant with Cash. I don't understand. She didn't go to jail. But we had to find a rehab. And so we found a place in Chattanooga, Cicadas or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we take her down there, and Cash is 3 months old. And there was a place that took moms and their kids. And it was a cool little setup because it was a cul-de-sac of duplex houses, and all of them were single. A cool place. I thought, man, this is going to work. And so we take her down there, and this is like July, August. No, had to be September. Cash was 3 months old. Had to be September. Anyway, I thought, man, this is going to work out. Shelby got a job working at Cheeseburger. You know, when she's working, they watch the kid. You know, then when they're working, she watches their kid. It was just a cool little setup thing, you know. And so we get to Christmas time, and they called and said, Shelby's got a 12-hour, she can come home for Christmas. Hour and a half, I'll go get her. No, not a problem. But Cash's first Christmas. I want to be with him, you know. And so I go get her. We come back, man, a great day. But even on our pictures now that scroll through the frame on one of the things in the living room, there's a lot of pictures of their first Christmas together. I love some of them pictures, man. Anyway, we go back, man, it was a great day. Take her back that night, no problems. Well, I done told you her birthday's on the 28th. Well, they called and said Shelby's got a free weekend pass in Murfreesboro, no supervision. And I thought, no. And I told that lady, she ain't ready for that. I'm telling you right now. I just spent the day with her. I know what her attitude is. I mean, she's still not great. It's better, but it's not great. Yeah. But I didn't want to be the Debbie Downer dad. I didn't want to be, she's not ready, because I can't always just be on her. You're not ready. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You're not whatever. I don't want to be that guy to her all the time. So I go get her, and she says, can you watch Cash for the weekend? Can y'all watch? Well, yeah, at this time, he's 6 months old now. Yeah, it's our first grandchild. Yeah, well, Josh, when we got back to our house, I never seen her until it was time to go back. And she barely got back time for me to get her there in time you know. And I was so mad that when we got to Chattanooga, I didn't get out of the car. I didn't want nobody to see me that mad at her. I didn't want, I knew where I was boiling, you know. And so Rachel gets out and getting a couple more Christmas stuff she left up the house to take down there. And I started to ask her, do you have anything on you going to get you in trouble here? But again, I didn't want to be the Debbie Downer. I didn't want to be that way. And not that she would have told me the truth anyway. We dropped her off like 6 o'clock. We did call 6 o'clock next morning. She's OD'd.
Oh, my goodness.
Baby's been laying around the floor all night. Best they could tell, she OD'd about midnight. They found the needle and the spoon still on the kitchen sink. And so the lady calls, and I hear Rachel let this little pitch of a scream from a mother. And I'm like, so they said, come get the baby. And we don't know if she made it or not. So, I mean, I'm taking my wife to Chattanooga. I don't even know what we're going to deal with when we get here. I don't know what we're doing. And so we go get Cash, and then we go to the Erlanger Hospital, and she's made it. Now, she's about killed every muscle in her legs. She had to learn to walk again. She had to learn to, it was unbelievable to me. But part of me was like, may do it. She may figure it out here.
It's almost like you're hoping that she's finally hit the bottom, so that she can start coming back up.
And I'm thinking, because I think it would be for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking that'd probably put me in. I'm like, yeah, I got to do something different here. Of course, she gets kicked out. Of course she does. And I thought, I don't know what we're going to do. Of course, the normal answer is, Dad, it's not my fault. I didn't know. So this is all your fault.
Yeah.
And you're trying to be as nice and respectful, trying to be a loving dad. You're trying to be all of this, loving parents. Me and Rachel are just trying to Shell, man, what are we doing? And so we let him move back in. And then I talked to a place in Chattanooga, and they begged him to take her back. And they said, we'll take her back, but she has to go to the high rise, no kid. And I'm not wanting to raise a kid, but I'm wanting to help my daughter, and this will help her. And I'll take the baby for a little while, and not a big deal. We'll go down there and visit her, and we did. Another 12-month program. Josh, she almost got through it. She had one more class to graduate. And they called and said, Shelby's about done. Now, she done earned her car back. She got a job back. She done, and it was doing great. It was fun to be around again. And then they said she got one more class. It's in Murfreesboro. And I thought, oh, no. I'm not saying she wasn't strong. I'm saying I didn't know. I knew what happened in the past. She never went to a class. Never made it. Was in trouble like 2 weeks later. So it's a mindset. Shelby, you think you have to do that when you get here. It's right. Murfreesboro.
Right.
And I love Murfreesboro. I love living here. But we got to do something different. She gets back in trouble. That's when she goes to the workhouse. You know what I'm saying? We got Cash from 6 months to, well, we still have him today. He's 10.
Yeah.
We've had him ever since then. She goes to the workhouse and all that, gets out and gets out of the workhouse a week for her birthday party. We didn't have a birthday. They had a birthday party for her groupie friends. Got in trouble that night. I'm like, what? She come in yelling at me at 2:00 in the morning. I'm up because I'm kind of nervous about what phone call am I fixing to get. Right. And Rachel and Cash were sleeping. Here she comes. She's just yelling at me. She is talking so loud and so fast. I'm just looking at her. I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it wakes Rachel up and Cash up. You know what I'm saying? Cash at this time is kind of getting kind of scared of her. He's kind of nervous about her, you know. Mm-hmm. And so whatever happens. But I know Cash is starting to grow up, and she's still, at this time, she's still allowed to take him places. That's not my kid, it's your kid. You know what I'm saying? You're going to raise your kid. Until, I'll tell you when the game changed for me, Josh, was this. Rachel's at home with Cash, and Rachel drops a Coke can on the floor. And she picks it up, and it's upside down. Now, every Coke, Pepsi can, whatever can, it's got a dip in the bottom of it. Mm-hmm. Cash, 3 years old, says, Mama puts fire under there.
Oh, my goodness.
And I know this. If I was to set a 3-year-old down and talk to him about it, he has no idea what I'm even talking about. He had to see it.
Right.
And I told Shelby that. Shelby, he had to see it. Where are you taking him? To this day, if Cash was with me, if he don't know you, he's kind of like, But if something gets sporadic, something gets crazy, he'll hide behind me and Rachel. So he's been in some houses where things went down. Right. And Shelby must have shoved him behind her. Mm-hmm. Me and a good friend of mine were going to an MTSU game one night during the same time frame. And I said to Rachel before I left the house, I'm going to take your car. And I said, no, I'm not going to take your car because something stupid's going to happen. You'll have to go get Cash. Just said it out of being sarcastic. I just said it to be, it just seemed like the way life was. It just seemed the way it was at that time. And so we're leaving Jefferson's on Main Street then. We're headed to Murphy Center. Not very far. I get a phone call from Shelby, and she is screaming and yelling at me. I'm like, Shelby, where are you? And she said, finally, I'm at the Exxon across from Wendy's on 231. Now, we all know what's in that area. Yep. We know what part of town that is. And I said, just get the baby and get inside the gas station. So I go there, and her windows are kicked out of her car. Glass is in Cash's seat. And so I call Rachel, say, come get the baby. You know, of course, Rachel could, she's mad. You know what I mean? I said, just take Cash and go home, and I'll work on this deal. Let me just see what's going on here. So the cops come and all, So we get it all calmed down, and Shelby looks at me and said, Dad, why are you mad at me? I'm like, you don't know why I'm mad at you? You had my grandson in a drug deal, Shelby. You don't understand. They shooting cars all the time. They'd kill him. They don't care nothing about him. They don't care nothing about you. You need to figure it out. You don't understand. Yeah. And I don't know why you don't understand. I'm having a hard time understanding why you don't understand. You're trusting wrong people. And I always, when I say that, I'm thinking, man, them other people, they have families too. They don't want their kid there either. No more than I want mine there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to talk bad about other people. I'm just saying the group of people you're hanging around with, y'all got the same problem. Right. So, it's one of them deals. I'm like, Shell. So when I stewed on it, I told her, I said, Shell, any more things happen, I'm telling you, I'm going to get emergency custody of Cash. That's what I'm going to do. Don't take him to places like that. He don't know what's going on. You're scaring him. And I told her a few people that if I called her around, that's what was going to happen. I didn't see it. Rachel called me and said, hey, I seen her boyfriend and he's driving, coming out of the truck stop with 2 big bags of ice. I don't know what ice has to do with drugs. I still don't really know, but it has something to do with it. Anyway, so I told her, I said, go to our attorney and get emergency custody of Cash. And that's what we did. And this is September of 18. And the reason I know it was because our son played college football over in North Carolina. It was opening weekend, and he was starting. And we was all going to go. Well, me and Rachel went every weekend, but the family was going to go. Shelby and Cash were going with us. And anyway, so this is like on a Wednesday. We get emergency custody of Cash, and Shelby calls and says, hey, what time are we leaving tomorrow? or Friday. It had been Friday. What time we leaving Friday? I said, Shelby, there's something I got to tell you before we go. Because I didn't want to be on my mind all week. I didn't want her,
Right.
And so I put the phone on Rachel's dresser, which is a little higher. And I got down on my knees and I talked straight to the phone. I didn't want to I can't hear you fading in and out on me. I didn't want that. My mouth is right at the microphone. And Rachel's standing in there. I said, Shelb, me and Mom went and got emergency custody of Cash. From that moment to the end of the phone call, she never talked to me again. She talked to Rachel. And she called Rachel everything. I'm talking about everything. Mm. And I would say periodically, Shelb, that's your mother. Mom's not going to do anything to hurt you. Shelb, that's my wife. You're getting a little too deep on. You're fixing to cross the line with me. Just let her know, hey, you're fixing to blow it. Mm-hmm. So she hangs up on us. Of course, I have to console my wife, and hey, hon, it's just words. She's mad. You need to understand where she's at. I'm saying, I'm just, she don't mean any of that right now. She's just trying to do anything to hurt you. That you hurt her, she wants to hurt you back. It's a fighting instinct, hon. Mm-hmm. It's and Rachel wasn't raised like me. She was raised in a nice, calm little town. You know what I'm saying? Not that I was raised rough. I was just different side of a track, I guess you'd say. But anyway, Shelby calls back. Well, I make Rachel leave the room, and I hit the speaker button, and I talked to her the way she talked to her mother. I said, how's that feel? I can call you low white trash. Whatever you want me to call you, I can call you. It's words, Shelby. I don't mean any of them. But if you want to holler at words, we'll holler words. Look, I know the F-bomb. I know all them mm-hmm. words. I choose not to talk to you that way. We're not getting anywhere, Shelby. We're not. Mm-hmm. So that's where, where it led to. And so we got emergency custody of him, and then and things got better. You know what I'm saying? After she got over the initial madness of it, I could sit and talk to her and I'd make her understand, Shelb, I didn't do this to hurt you. I done it to help you. Let's work on you. Then we get you right. Then we get you back with Cash, and then we'll get you together. You know what I'm saying? That was my goal. My goal was never to raise Cash. That wasn't my goal at all. I mean, I don't know any 50-year-old wants a 3-year-old boy. I don't know. I love him to death. And the truth is this, as frustrated as I was when she got pregnant, I'm so glad I got him today. I'm glad I got him. But, so things got better, and she'd come around and see him, stuff like that. And I told you about me knocking her down. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't, and I've talked to Rachel. When our son graduated college in North Carolina, it was May. And she thought we was gone for the weekend. We didn't. We just went over for Saturday and come back Saturday night. She thought we wasn't home. And she was coming trying to get in the house. Well, Rachel gets up and makes her leave. And I promise you, that's probably the hardest thing Rachel had to do, make her leave. She was looking for a place to stay. Mm. But the deal was with the judge was Shelby cannot stay at the house with the baby. That was the judge looked at me, the juvenile judge looked at me and said, you have two choices here. You can help her and stay with her and let her live with you, and we'll send the baby to foster care, or you can help the baby and she's got to figure out life out. Well, I got to take the baby. I mean, I got to, I don't want him to be in a foster care system. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's my grandson.
Right.
Right. Shelby, you're 26 years old. We got to figure things out. Hon. We got to, and so that's where I thought the tough love would come in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to help her. And I thought it did for a little while until she got this last boyfriend. And it just absolutely just blew me away. I'm like, and I never met him. I heard about him. You hear things about your kids. Sure. You know what I'm saying? It's funny when you're little, you're like, how did my dad find that out? Now that you are a dad, you're like, yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. It really is. You find out because you got a lot of friends, and a lot of friends know your kids. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So anyway, she gets this boyfriend, and she brings it. The truth is this: I'm gonna get you to the last time I seen Shelby alive was Cash's fourth birthday party. We had a birthday party for him at that Urban Air. And Shelby looked good that day. It was a real good day for me and her. We had a good time with each other. We jumped. We done everything. It was a good day for me and her. But the truth is, she brought this boyfriend way older than her, wearing basketball shorts and a white beater T-shirt, looking like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't say anything. I didn't want a big dispute in public. I didn't want but now I go into the bathroom, and he's in the toilet side, and I went to urinal. And I thought I could lock that door right there and beat the stew out of him. And ain't nobody going to open that door and stop me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do whatever I want. But I knew that when I opened that door and walked back out there, we're going to have a problem. And I didn't want that problem with Shelby. I thought we were getting better. Mm-hmm. I thought me and her our relationship was getting better. So I didn't want that right then. And so we leave there, and I hug her in the parking lot. Shelby, I love you. If I can help you, Just call me. I'll do whatever I can to help you. But you got to help yourself. I know what I'm doing. Okay. All right. She died 3 weeks later. Unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. And I can tell you a story about how God had mercy on me and Rachel the week she died. It was unbelievable to me. The week she died, Rachel's in Texas. And I have cash by myself. And I'm thinking, I raised 3 more. I can raise 1 more. Not a big deal. You know what I mean? And Cash's first week of playing football, he's going to get his cleats and whatever he needed to play football, we were going to get that week. And Rachel calls she left on Sunday and calls on Tuesday afternoon. And I just said, have you talked to Shelby? She said, no. I said, okay. In my mind, I'm thinking, not weird for it. I haven't talked to her, kind of different that Rachel hadn't talked to her. But I was going to call her and invite her to come with me and Cash get his stuff. Just have a good, mother-son day, and I'd be with them, whatever. That was on Wednesday. I was going to call her on Wednesday. I woke up Wednesday morning and said, I call Shelby and see if she wants to do this today. But I didn't call her. She died that day. I'm thinking, why didn't I call her? Could have called her. But I didn't. But anyway, I didn't know it. I made a cookout that night at a friend of mine. And he said, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Something don't feel right. And Rachel will tell you, I always had an inkling. Something's up. Anyway, so it goes on, and Rachel comes home on Thursday night. Still don't think there's a problem. Friday morning at 7 o'clock, Rhonda Rush calls and says, I'm so sorry. Calls Rachel. Rachel's like, sorry for what? You don't know? Know what? Shelby passed away Wednesday. What? Now, I'm not in the room with Rachel. I hear her voice. And our son's home from college. And so when I hear Rachel scream, I walk around the corner, and our son's hugging her. And I said, it's Shelby. He's like, I knew Wednesday. I didn't know that I knew, but I knew. But, of course, it tears all of us up. I look over. We got this 4-year-old little boy. He says, why is everybody crying? And so I put him on my knee. I said, babe, bud, Mama had an accident. That's all I could tell him.
Yeah.
That's all I've ever told him so far. But now I'm doing so much stuff that he's starting to figure he's not stupid. He's not. But the truth is, what if I find out Wednesday and I got to get Rachel home from Texas?
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I hold this secret from my wife? What if she got the phone call? What if Rhonda Rush calls her Wednesday and she's in Texas by herself?
Right.
How do I get her back here? Not looking like some kind of insane person getting on a plane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I would do. I would probably have to go fly to Texas to get her and get her back. I don't know what I would have done. But that's why I think God showed us mercy. Hey, you'll find out Friday when everybody's together. I guess. Now, I tell people this. I'm not a wealthy person. I'm a blue collar worker. Shelby died in the homeless tent in Laverne, in a bathroom at the end of Rawdon Road. And the guy she was with left her. Didn't call an ambulance, didn't call nobody, just left. What went down was, what I found out is the couple they were with, him and Shelby got to bickering about something. He gave her the drug and said, go chill out and take this. They killed her. Well, the girl standing there said, you better go check on your girl. She'd been in there a pretty good while. And he walked in and she was dead, and he just left. Now, I'm not saying Shelby done everything right. What I'm saying is she deserved better than that.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So we find out. Now, the truth is this. If we'd looked at her Facebook page, we'd known Wednesday. It was all over her page. I never looked at her page. Didn't have no reason to look at her page. It kind of frustrated me. But I would tell you this. The last thing that Shelby posted was August the 5th. I know my dad loves me. Now, I don't know what happened that day. I don't know. But at least I know she knew.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, so we go through all that, and we don't know where she's at. She had no identification. So we know Corey Gilly at Woodbury Funeral Home. She's a friend of ours. And Heather Campbell calls her and says, hey, can you See if you can find Shelby. So Shelby has some tattoos. Some marks I could tell them about. They found her in Davidson County under the unknown. I don't know what they do with them, but that's where she was at. And as a parent, it's heartbreaking. Like, what? My little girl from all this time. Somebody just dropped her like nothing? Are you kidding me? And I always say this. I lost a daughter, but my wife lost a baby. Mm-hmm. That's her baby. That's one of her babies. Like in my mind, I don't know if it's. I think of a bird. You know, the mom always checks on the baby. That baby. That's one of Rachel's babies. What are we doing? And so so that's why I say I stayed mad for 5 years. I'm like, y'all frustrate me. I don't know what to do with y'all. I don't know anything about it. So the frustration comes from trying to help and getting turned away. Trying to help you. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
And the rejection and I don't need your help. I know what the F I'm doing. It's a common response from her. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. And I would tell her quite frequently towards the end, I said, Shelby, you're going to get something. There's too much out there. Now, the thing about it is I know more about the law and drugs than I ever cared to know about. I didn't care about any of it. Just obey it. Now, I'm guilty of speeding, getting speed. I'm guilty of all that. But as far as just in or out, I'm like, I have no idea why that's even like that. I didn't want to know. I just wanted to live my life and stay clean. And as far as clean from law, I don't want to break any laws. Right. I don't want to steal nothing. I don't want to, But the road we went down with her is, I know more about it. I'm no expert, but I know more about it than I ever cared to know about. And I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if there is a fix. I know there's a help, but I don't know if there's ever going to be a fix because you're fighting big people.
Yeah.
And I just wish there would be a thing that you have to be so old or you only get so much of this. Hey, if you're going to do a surgery on a kid and you're going to give them OxyContin, you're going to get 2 or 3. You're not getting a pill of 30. Mm-hmm. You're not getting a pill. No, we're not doing that. Here's a couple, give to your parents. What they do with it, But just prescribing them 30 pills is ridiculous. I mean, when I had my surgery, we had it on there, and I say it was all about the same time. I needed 1 or 2. I didn't need 30.
Right.
We're overprescribing. And
yes.
I mean, like, what are we doing?
Let me ask you this, and this is honest again. This is just more curiosity by me as a dad, because man, this is the toughest interview I've ever done. I'm just gonna be honest with you because I'm listening to you talk, and I can't not think about my own kids,
right.
But after you learn the way that she passed, as a dad, how do you keep yourself from going and finding the people that you can at least point to and say you were there and you had some responsibility. You didn't handle it, and I'm not going to handle things with you.
Yeah, well, I wanted to. I didn't want to. I wanted to go find the guy, and I wanted to beat the I did. And I don't know that I wouldn't do it today. I don't know that I wouldn't. If he crossed my path, I don't know that I wouldn't just deck him. You know what I don't know. But part of me wants to say, dude, he's got a problem too. Yeah. He's struggling just like Shelby was struggling. And if the roles were reversed, his family feels the same way about Shelby.
Yeah, that's true.
And I try to put myself in. I don't know why I started feeling that way. I just did. I'm like, I don't know, because I promise you, if I would have seen him anytime after, I've been calling you. Hey, Josh, I need some legal help here.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do, but I have destroyed this kid. You know, not a kid. He wasn't. The truth is, Shelby was 26 and he was 42. Not a kid.
Yeah.
Old enough to know better. Taking advantage of little girls that had cars. He didn't have a car. Mm. But I also know he's got a mom and dad. Now I can see where mom and dads, I'm not built that way. I can see where mom and dads get frustrated and just give up. I can see that. I don't know that I wasn't that way a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Screw it. I don't know. She's on her own. I do remember telling Rachel the night she swung at me, going back in the house, and I was a little emotional about it because it hurt my heart. Mm-hmm. She just swung at me. I'm a dad. I'm not swinging at my dad. You know what I mean? I'm not swinging at my mom. But I knew then I'd lost her. So I told Rachel, I said, you better start praying because I don't know where she's at. You're talking about this is April, May. She died in August.
Yeah.
I knew she was that far gone. She would never do that to me. You know, as much as I helped her, as much as I done for her, she knew that. She knew I was on her team. She said, I'm on your team. So I just didn't know where she was at. So after she swung on me, our relationship changed a little bit. I didn't have the full, I don't trust you. And that's why I say at that Cash's birthday party, we kind of we started shrinking that gap a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, because I let her know, you don't, next time you may not be so lucky. I'm like, I don't know. I took it that night. I don't. And I tell my son, if you swung at me, I'd just decked you. You wouldn't have to worry about swinging again. I'm coming. You know.
Yeah.
I just think that's different than boys and girls.
Yeah.
I think it is. I'm not saying I'd go around beating my son up. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I get it.
But if you want to fight, I'll show you a fight. You know,
right.
But I don't know. That's where Shelby got with it, and it breaks my heart knowing it. My emotion shows that. Golly, it still hurts today.
What about Miss Rachel?
She's never seen me speak. She said, I lived it once. I don't have to live it again. And I tell her, it helps me for some reason. It helps me. But she don't go, she'll listen to it. And we get to laughing because sometimes if somebody records the full thing, I may get the stories out of chronology. I mean, that happened first. And we get to laughing about that. I'm like, well, I don't know. So I quit giving timelines. I'm like, this happened and this happened. If you try to go, okay, she done this and then she done this and all that, no, hang on, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like giving the timeline of it. This is a story. This is what happened. This is the truth. And so when I start giving speeches, I walk in and I tell them, I don't have any notes. Whatever the Lord put on my heart tonight, that's what I'm going to say. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. I'm not here to criticize you. I'm not. I'm here to hopefully help. And it's funny when you give a speech, and I'm sure you have. You walk in, you kind of feel the room. You kind of see people, and you're like, that guy could be a problem. Yeah. I could see him saying something. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of feel the room, and it's funny to me because some of them people that you kind of look that way, you're like, they end up being the first ones breaking down.
Yes.
I was in Clarksville speaking a couple Friday nights ago, and the guy walked in the room, and he could tell he was kind of I'm not saying he didn't want to be there, but he thought he didn't really,
he didn't need it.
You didn't need this. I don't need to hear from this guy about his daughter. He's the first one to start crying because he has kids.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you can be a tough guy if you want to. I don't know about you, but I know about me. My kids melt my heart.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, if they knew, and they won't, and it's something you can't tell somebody who don't have kids. You don't have kids, so you don't know. But when you have kids, something about it change. The whole game changes.
Yes, that's a fact.
From the first one to, and I remember when Shelby was born, I'm thinking, I don't know that I could ever love anything like this. Mm-hmm. Then you have a second when you're like, well, that same love just showed up again. It is unbelievable to me. I'm like, well, how did I do that twice?
Yeah, I know when. So when my wife and I, when we had our first child, it was my son, and I growing up. And then watching life, I got an older sister. I would see the way that my mom and dad would handle things with my older sister sometimes, and I would be critical of it. I'd be like, man, why are y'all doing it that way? Y'all need to do this, that. And my daddy, especially, my daddy would look at me and say, until you have kids, you don't know. You don't know. We had our son, and I felt the same thing. I was like, I have never loved anyone like that. Like, I don't even know where this comes from. It's just, it's a natural, innate thing. Yeah. And then you have this weird fear when you find out, like, we're going to have another one. You're like, I don't know. I'm not sure that I can love that. How does that work, right?
I don't know. This here's going to be second to me.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not second.
Well, and for me, our second one is our first daughter. And again, I was young. I didn't know any different. And I just thought, well, it's another child. And I had, my friends were like, dude, listen, daughters are different. Mm-hmm. They're different. And, man, it's true. Yeah. It's so true.
And nothing against girls, but I just thought our daughters were tougher. Our daughters were harder.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to, and you want to be so soft-hearted. And they're so, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to do that. But you got to be disciplined. You got to be, I'm like, golly. And it gets so hard. You're like, your boys, you're like, come on, man, straighten it up. Let's go. Yeah. What are you doing?
It's different. Yeah. It's different.
I remember when Shelby was born, I was 23 years old. And like I said, when I married Rachel, Lauren, we already had Lauren. And I thought, we got Lauren. What's the big deal? shoot, wait till you see that baby and you hold it.
Yes.
Wait until you see it. It's unbelievable to me. It is. So I got some friends that are younger than us. And when they had their first kid, I told them, I said, wait, big boy, you have it. You'll see.
That's right.
That ain't going to change. He walked out of that delivery room. He's like, I told you. It's funny to me. So you can't tell people who don't have a kid. You don't understand you don't understand the love. You don't understand. If you don't have that love, then check yourself.
That's right.
Check yourself. But yeah, I just didn't understand. And I thought the sad thing is when Cash was born, and Rachel's got pictures of me, and she struggled with delivery. Ended up going C-section. But there's pictures of me. We was up there she went at like 4:00 in the morning. Didn't have him until like 6:00 at night. I mean, she struggled all day. And there's pictures of me. I'm just standing next to her and I'm just rubbing on her, just patting on her. I mean, that was my girl.
Right.
That's my girl. She's going through a hard time. That's all right. We're going to make it.
Yeah.
And I know today, if she was here, she'd say, I didn't know. But she knew, you know what I mean? She didn't know you can't always explain to your kid the love. You can't. Look, you can't understand my emotions with this. I want you to, and I want you to see it, that you mean everything to me, but I can't do everything for you.
Right. Right.
I sit there and watch you make mistakes. I try to help you guide around them. But Shelby got where that thing was, look, as your kids are getting older, you know this, but you sit there and you watch them do things, say, that's probably not going to work the way they think it's going to work. But they need to learn. Right. And so you try to give little darts to them. Hey, man, I don't think that's going to work. And it doesn't. You're like, I tried to tell you. You didn't listen.
It's a tough balance,
It is a tough balance.
And especially you realize that more as your kids do get older.
Yep.
It's a tough balance between I can see the road you're on and I know where that road ends. Yeah. I need to let you be independent enough to learn that, but I'm also afraid of what can happen while you're learning that. Yeah. And being a parent is tough.
Yeah. And people say there's not a book for parenting. Well, the Bible is the book. And, and the thing is, it's so hard to read, you know what I'm saying? But it's, as you're guiding your kid, and you don't want to be the overbearing parent. You don't want to be like, I always called myself, I didn't want to be the Debbie Downer dad. I didn't want to be that guy. I'm usually a pretty positive guy. But as all of our kids, when they got older, you'd be like, I don't think you should do that. Well, I'm going to. Okay. Yeah. And then you see him, you're like, well, I didn't know. I know you didn't know. That's why I said.
Right. Yeah. But it's one of those things where you don't know, but you have to go figure out that you don't know.
I know you don't know, and you're going to know. And I'm trying to give you what to kind of expect, but I can't tell you what to expect because I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but that ain't going to work like you're thinking. Yeah. And we laugh at my daughter, Lauren. We laugh because I'm not her dad. Her dad's a great guy. He's always been around. He's a super guy. We both walked her down the aisle. It was just an honor for me to walk my stepdaughter down the aisle, And there's about it. He let me help, So anyway, when Ryan, our son-in-law, come to ask to marry her, I said, did you ask her dad? Because I wasn't her dad. Right. He said, yeah, I've already talked to him. I said, okay. I said, did you ask Rachel? Yeah. I said, well, okay then. So I knew then I had some leeway. I knew now I can mess with this kid, And so I said, all right, I don't know what they said, but I'm going to tell you the truth. She's crazy. So I just said it kind of jokingly, He said, well, what's your advice? I said, run. So now when something happened, he said, you warned me, man. Right, I warned you. Run. So, it's just a little fun thing you can have after they learn what's going on. Right. And I wouldn't give anything for my kids. I wouldn't give anything for my grandkids. Love them. But I wish I could get across to addicts. And that's my goal, is to get across to addicts how much you're loved. You are loved by people you don't even realize it. You think they've washed your hands of you, and they have not washed their hands of you. Your parents have not washed their hands of you. I promise you that. Now, they don't like everything you're doing. They don't like anything you're doing, to be honest, drug-wise. They don't like the stealing, the lying. They don't like any of that, but they still love you. And I promise you, if you'll get serious about getting straight, they'll be right there with you. I promise you that. If you have small kids, I always use Cash as an example. Look, he don't know what was going on. All I can tell you right now is that he misses his mama. Yeah. I said, we don't know who his dad is, and I'm fine with that. And the truth is, Rachel got a Facebook message couple Thanksgivings ago. Apparently, maybe his daddy got out of prison, and Shelby wrote me some letters. Said I may be his dad. Well, he was like 8, and so we just went. We adopted him. We blocked all of that.
Good.
And part of the problem is this: when Cash gets old enough, he wants to know who his dad is. We'll go find him. He's not old enough now, and I'm not dealing with a 14-year-old kid coming that I make mad over something. I'll go live with my dad.
Right.
You don't have a choice. You don't have that choice, buddy. I am your dad. Now, then what I asked for from the judge, and he granted it, is I got to keep the original birth certificate because I want Cash to know I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad, and Mimi's not your mom. So I want to hand him this Shelby Jordan is your mother. I want you to have that.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have one that says Mimi and Dennis and Rachel on. I don't want you to have that one. But for traveling purposes and school purposes, it's just so much easier just to blocking dad from anything. He wants to come over and do this, thinks he's going to do. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because that'll cause me to go to jail. That'll cause me.
Right.
Look, if you think I'm going to let Rachel lose another one,
ain't happening.
I'll go to jail. I'd rather go to jail. Yeah. If you think you're going to try to take this baby, no.
Yeah.
Now we had people say, "Hey, if you want to," when Shelby passed away, hey, if you want to put him up for adoption, never crossed our mind. If you think I'm going to put Rachel through that, you're wrong.
Yeah. I can't imagine doing that.
No, that's my grandson. That's my grandson. I don't know what we're going to do right now.
But it ain't that.
It ain't that. He's going to be in my life. He's going to be. And we had a sweet couple, and they were serious about it. And they said, I know we would love to adopt him. We know somebody would love to adopt him. And they'd still let you be grandma and grandpa. Not happening. Not happening. I don't want him to live in not that there's nothing wrong with adoptions and stuff like that. They're wonderful. Not for me.
Yeah.
And even when Shelby got pregnant, I tell the stories this. I didn't know what we were going to do, but abortion was never a question.
Yeah,
we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do, but we're not doing that. And I tell the story is when she got pregnant in the middle of her drug use, I let her move back in with us to protect the baby. I thought I could keep a better eye on her. Not that I wanted to hover over her, but I wanted to keep her out of the drug use as much as I possibly could. Now, one night I'm working, and I hear the back door open, and I know Rachel's already in bed, and it's Shelby trying to leave. She thought I was in bed. Hey, I raced down them stairs, and I grabbed her, and it wasn't a pleasant conversation. I'm not saying, hey, Shelby, come sit on the couch. It was not that. I grabbed her by the collar and set her on the couch. That's what it was. I mean, I'm not trying to be Mr. Great Dad here. I'm not. It wasn't a great time. But I also know I ran out that door, looked at them headlights. You know what I'm saying? That guy took off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, we're not doing it. I said, Shelby, somebody's got to fight for the baby, and I guess it's me. But you're not going to hurt him. At the time, we knew it was a him. Yeah. And I jokingly tell people, last thing me and Shelby agreed on, she come to me, which I thought was sweet. Dad, what do you want to name him? Not my kid. Name what you want to name him. The backstory is this. She wanted to name him Jason. His name is Jason. Jason Cash is his name. Jason is my little brother who died at 13 months old. And I said, Shelby, that's sweet, but you need to call my parents. Now, my parents have been divorced 40 years. So you need to call Pawpaw and Grandma Janet and ask them because I don't want to hurt their feelings of naming a baby after their son. And she did, and they both loved it. They both loved the idea. And she said, but we're going to call him Cash. And that's what we call him. We call him. And she said, there's a couple other names floating around. She said, I like Cash. I said, well, I like Cash. So that's what we named him. She. But anyway, it was kind of like, I appreciate her letting me have some input or some, Dad, help me here. You know, and I did, but now, getting back to when Shelby died, to have to call my parents, knowing they lost one, knowing what they went through. In my mind, I'm thinking, it's going to send them right back to that day when they lost theirs. And it kind of did. I mean, my dad was, like I said, he works for me. He's a truck driver. And he was in St. Louis, Missouri area. And he was home before I knew it. It took off about a week and a half just to be with me, just to be right there. Nothing I can say for you, son, but I'm right here. Mm-hmm. My mother, who lives up in Illinois, I had to call my aunt and say, hey, I need you to go to Mom's house or something. I got to tell her. She said, you want me to tell her? I said, no, I'll do it. And now, the backstory of my mother is when my little brother died, I was the only one home. And the only reason I was home was My older brother was in school. My sister stayed with my grandparents, and I had afternoon kindergarten. I didn't go until the afternoon. And that's only I can remember my mom screaming today like it happened yet last night. I can remember it, and so I knew where she would go. And she did. And now she, she got to get down here, and she's got to be here, and she's got to, all this. I'm like, but it sent both of them back to that 1975.
Right.
I'm like, man, I don't know, and I knew they were hurting for me, but for them.
Yeah.
And then I have to call my brother Kevin, and tell him. He was in Chicago. He worked for me too. And it seemed like I seen him before I seen my dad coming out of St. Louis. I'm like, holy moly. And like I say, I own a business, and they both work with me. And I think it's right. The business was not important. Mm-hmm. Business is not important. And I had 15 other guys working for me that we still had, we got business to do. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what happened that week. I don't know how business kept running, but it kept running. And it seemed like I had no problems at all that week. I didn't have any late deliveries. I didn't have any whatever. I didn't have any loads not ready. I didn't have any of that week. I'm like, but I don't know how it ran. It just ran. I must have did it. You know what I'm saying? I must have buckled down and done it for a little while.
Yeah.
But I did remember I asked nobody to call me. Please don't call me. Just text me if you need something. I'll get it. But I just remember because I didn't want to talk. I don't. For lack of a term, I don't need to hear your I'm sorry. So I don't want. I don't need to. And I'm past the. Even today, people say, "Well, I'm so sorry." I'm past the sympathy stuff. I am past all that. I don't need you to say I'm sorry for you. I understand you are. I get it. I appreciate it. But I don't need somebody come hugging me all the time and say, "Boy, I sure am sorry about your daughter. Like it's been 6 years."
Yeah.
I know you are. I appreciate it. I appreciate what you're trying to. I do. I'm saying, but that doesn't help. It's not helping me. I don't know what is helping me. This is helping me. That's the first time I ever done a podcast, so I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. Didn't know how to do it. Pretty cool. But I'm an emotional person I'm normally not an emotional person, but I'm emotional about this. Of course, it's my daughter.
That's right.
If you're not emotional, I'm like, why ain't you emotional about your kid?
Yeah.
That's what she meant to me.
So what's the future? What is it that you're wanting to do?
Man, that has changed in 5 months. I thought I'll just do this couple of speeches, not a big deal, to see where it goes. I got 10 this month, the month of January. I got 10 speeches to give. It's taken off like I couldn't believe. I say 10 speeches. I got to go to one place Wednesday in Columbia. They want to interview me about going to their places to make sure I'm not full of BS. And I get that. They probably get a lot of stories in there like, oh boy, I get that. So I don't mind doing them at all. It's taken off more than I do all the speaking for free. I'm not here to make money off my daughter's life. I'm not, my story is not for sale, so to speak. It's to help people. Now we do a car show.
Right.
And we've raised over $100,000 in 4 years. I've donated everything to cause. I look at it. It's not my money. It's Shelby's money. And she wanted to help people. We'll help people. You want to help them? Let's help them. But the more this goes on, my heart is, Lord and George. I would love to do it full time. I would love to. I don't know a better word to say, but just get a schedule. You're speaking here, you're speaking there. Now I still have to be home. I got a kid at home, and I need help raise with the kid. But I almost think if I could do it every day, I would do it. Because I think that much needs to be said. Now I don't know. I've never been to a bunch of speeches, but I think last year we done 22. From May to December, we done 22 speeches, and almost every time, people have said, "You're helping people. You keep doing it. You're helping. Mm-hmm. Your story is unbelievable. You got to tell your story. You got to." And I guess, but I also know that Shelby's not the only one. There's other parents out there that love their kids as much as I love Shelby. I promise you that.
Right.
They don't have the way to do it, don't know how to do it, don't want to do it. Like Rachel. Rachel don't want to do it. Rachel don't want to hear it. Now she'll help me. We'll talk about it at home, small talk. Well, you think I should say it like this? And I don't really even think about it because when I get to the place, I normally get there 15, 20 minutes early, and I walk around the place, kind of get a feel of it, kind of see the people. Mm-hmm. Then I find me a corner to pray in. Let me get my thoughts together here. Let me let me say the right thing. Let me help somebody. Like 2 Friday nights ago, I spoke in Waverly at Hope Center. Kid over there, I walked in the door and the kid said, I knew Shelby, went to school with her. He's from Auburntown. Unbelievable to me. I spoke, Murfreesboro wasn't so bad. I spoke from Murfreesboro. A couple of kids went to school with her. One girl with her in rehab in Chattanooga. I'm like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, the people that knew her. And they'll tell you that when I get done, I said, you can ask some people, I've told you the truth about Shelby. I've told you the truth. Wasn't always pretty. She wasn't always sweet. She was always a good person. Wanted to be a good person. Mm-hmm. But, so I own a truck company. I've owned it for 20 years. Man, I would love to give it up and just do this. I would. If I could figure out a way. No, I say figure out a way. That sounds like I'm trying to scam. I'm not trying to scam anybody.
I get it.
I need partners. I need partners to help me.
Yeah.
And so we of course we have a board because we have a Shelby Jordan Foundation now. We used to just have the showing off for Shelby Car Show, and we just done that to raise some money. So we started a foundation, and some people on the board said, we donate all this money, like we give $5,000 here, $5,000 there, just trying to help mostly single sober living places and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And but I didn't want to spread myself too thin. I didn't want to. If I'm going to help somebody, I don't want to give them $500. I want to help them.
Right.
$500. Right. I mean, I appreciate it. Everybody appreciates $500. But if you can give them $5,000, now you're helping.
Yeah.
But somebody on the board said, "What if we still do some of that? But what if we take some of the money and it's your travel expense? You just go tell the story, and that's the gift. Maybe it is a gift. I don't know. That's not. I'm not going to be bold and say my gift to you is me speaking. That's not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's not who I am. But I see what they're saying. Go tell the story. That's going to help more than $5,000 some places. That's going. And I would love to get the foundation built up so much where, let's just say I go speak somewhere in Waverly, or I was out in Milan, Tennessee. Well, if I go to them places, and I just have a blank check in my pocket, and whatever the Lord led me to give, I'll just give that tonight.
Right.
With a reasonable amount. I'm saying? I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh, got you $10,000." I'm not doing that. But but hey, man, let's give them a love offering right here. I don't. And I've had some places ask for my Venmo, and they Venmo me money when I left. And I think it's kind of ironic. I'm like, no, I'm trying to get money to give to y'all.
Yeah.
But I appreciate their love. I appreciate their support of them. You know what I'm saying? So there's places that's done that. But if I could just find partners, and when we do the car show, I always look for sponsors. I don't like that for this. I want partners. I want somebody that believes in me, and this is my story, and this is my deal, and this. I'm not kidding you about this. I'm not just looking for money. I'm not, I can go get loans and do that. I'm not looking for a free handout. I'm not looking for, but I want to go talk to people, whether it be like, see here, Friday morning the 9th, I'm in Fayetteville, Tennessee at 9:00 in the morning. Well, I still have a job I got to do. Right. I still got a company I got to run. But I'll do it. I'll work it around my schedule to work that in there. But then like Monday the 12th, I'm in Ashland City at noon. I'm in Camden, Tennessee at 6:30 that night. And then that Wednesday night, whatever that be, the 14th, whatever that is, I think, I'm in Savannah, Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
So I'm stretching out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because this problem is not Murfreesboro.
No, it's
and I'll speak in Murfreesboro every day. I don't care to do that. And I've spoke at Rhonda Rush's church for a couple of different people and some other churches and stuff. And I'm speaking in Woodbury January 18th. And I think that one's going to be tough because that's Shelby's hometown.
Yep.
And people there are going to know her. I've had people come say, I'm coming to church I'm going to be their church service that morning. I'm like, I don't know that I've ever done a church service. This is not really a church service, but it is a single. You may know her, Tammy Bowman. Yeah, it's her church. Her bought that place on Dillon Street. Yeah. That's where I'm going to be at. So it's one of them deals where you're like, I'll do whatever. I'm not scared to go talk to people. People don't scare me.
Right.
But like, I've gotten to know, he just got a job in D.C. now with Monty Burks.
Okay.
And he asked me to go to prisons and speak. And so I'm like pondering that, and I'm like, I don't know if, and maybe so, but I don't know the people I'm used to speaking with, if people in rehab houses trying to get better. Mm-hmm. If you go to a prison, some of them guys don't think they got a problem anyway. So I don't know how I'm going to help them. They don't understand their problem yet. maybe this helps them. I don't know. But I'm going to sit there and tell them a story about a 26-year-old girl and her parents, what we went through and what her little boy's going through. Is that going to help them?
Right.
Maybe. If they have a heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, and when I speak, I normally speak about an hour on Shelby, and I speak about 20 minutes on what a little boy's went through his life. Just kind of, hey, when you talk about some single moms, ooh,
I bet.
it's hard to watch. It's hard to, when I tell him about Mother's Day every year, him just struggling through Mother's Day it's just a struggle for him. And this year, I didn't know it, but it was Mother's Day, and me and him were sitting around the house, and I said, hey, do you want to go put some flowers? And he just cut me off. No. I thought, well, he normally don't cut me off. And so I went and asked Rachel, I said, did you already talk to him about going to Shelby's gravesite? She said, yeah, he's mad at her. And I let him be mad at her.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's what he has a right to be mad. If he was here, he could tell her, Mom, I'm mad.
Yeah.
That'd be okay. She would understand. But now, I don't know how many years ago, I think he was in second grade. They're doing all this Mother's Day stuff at school. And he was just being, for lack of a better term, he was just being a turd that week. He is just being hard to deal with. And I didn't understand it. I'm like, what's your deal? And so when he got home one day, I told Rachel, I'm going to take him for a little ride out in the country. Just talk. Let me just talk to him. Where he can't, where I can't, we're just talking. Where he don't think I'm not hammering him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bud, we're just going to talk. And so I asked him, I said, I got him all buckled up. And I told him we were going to Nash Family Creamery, get some ice cream where we're going. And so we're kind of taking some back roads out through there. And I said, hey, bud, does it bother you that your mom's not here? He cried for 20 minutes. He cried all the way to the family nursery. He cried all the way out there.
Yeah.
And so we got stopped in the parking lot, and I cleaned him up a little bit, got his tears dried up. We went inside and got some ice cream and kind of chilled out a little bit and got back in the truck. And I took a different way home, take a little longer, just trying to help him a little bit. And I said, hey, buddy, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. Yeah. I can help you with that. I would. Look, I'm sad too. You lost a mama, lost my daughter. And so I tell people, look, when he does stuff wrong now and wants to kind of blame it on that situation, kind of like, and I tell him, I say, look, you have been dealt some tough cards. Tough for a little boy. That's tough cards. That's not a reason to act like that. We're not going to act like that. We have to fight through this. Now, there's some things, I'll give you some breaks on some stuff. And hey, everybody else's mom's around here, and Mimi's got to go with him because he don't, we'll get some breaks here. But we're not going to act up for it. We're not going to be a bad person because I'm just not going to let him get away with that. I want you to toughen up over that. You need to toughen up because you being like that doesn't fix anything. It only hurts it. Just fight through it. I'll help you all I can. But he's getting better. He used to be really emotional. He's not so emotional anymore. The things that bother him are like, I didn't think that'd bother him, but the things that don't bother him, I'm like, well, but that's just kids in general.
Right.
It's not this situation made him that way. It's just as you raised, like when Cash was born, our son was 20. So I'm used, the 3-year-old stuff is not, I'm not used to that anymore. I'm like, why is that bothering him?
Right.
Right. But we're having to learn all that again. But now he's a good athlete. He's just like her. And his actions are just like hers. His smile is like hers. I got a picture on my phone of him in some catcher's gear. And he turned and looked at me. I'm sitting in the bleachers. And I made him turn around again because when he turned and looked at me, it reminded me of her in her catcher gear when she was catching. And so I took that picture and sent it to Rachel. I'm like, look at this. She said, man, it looks just like Shelby. And it does. It to me, to us, and people saying, oh, you can see Shelby all over him. Yeah. Wait till his attitude pops up. You'll see it again. You know what I'm saying? It's just, But, and he likes to hear, he gets to laughing when we say, hey, boy, that's just like your mama would do that. It's just something he would say or do, he's not a ton of patience on a ball field. He wants it done now and do it now. And let's get over this drill. Just like she was. Reminds me, it takes back to her senior year. Let's just let's go. We got to just play the game. I don't want to practice. Let's just play. No, we got to practice, so. Yeah. And I've gotten to where I coached everything he did. And I've kind of gotten out of that. I don't want to coach him. I want to be a grandpa. That's what I want to be. And now baseball this year, I'm back into coaching just because they said we need your old school way. These kids, they let them get away with everything. I'm like, no, that ain't the way you do that. That's not what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's things that we're doing a little bit better at, but I don't want to coach him one-on-one. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, because, you know, if you've coached your kids, you talk to your kids and do stuff with them, it turns into a battle at home some days because you can't leave it. Yeah. Because they want to smart off about something. You got on me about that. You didn't get on so-and-so. You didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, but I expect more from you. And that's not, is that fair? It's not fair, but it is. It's just the way it's just
what
life.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, but I know you know. You know,
right.
You've heard me talk about that. So anyway, but he's a great kid. I enjoy having him. We love him to death. I mean, and we do a good job of, what bothers me about it, when you think about Cash's life, he's never going to have a brother. He's never going to have a sister. He don't have them joys. You don't have that joy. He's never going to be an uncle. He don't have that joy of knowing he could be the favorite uncle, or you know what I'm saying? He don't have that joy. And he don't know that he's not going to have it because he's never had one. But those of us who had brothers and sisters know that, man, that just the fighting you get into sometimes, you look back on, you're like, yeah, that was fun. That was, you know, my brother beat the dog out of me. That was, you know, I remember it, you know. But so we try to keep our 3 grandkids close. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're 10, 8, and 6. 10, 8, and 10, 7, 10, 7, and 6. But, you know, we try to keep them close, do things together with them. And, you know, like a couple of weeks ago, Rachel and Lauren were working on stuff. I took all 3 grandkids and took them to, man, we went to Nash Family Creamery, one of my favorite places. You know. Took them to the center point in the state, took their picture by the center point, went to Walter Hill Dam, and then we rode through town thinking, let's see who's got the best fries in town. So we went to like 4 or 5 different restaurants, just getting orders of fries, see who had the best fries in town. It's just something I wanted to do with them. You know? Yeah. And so that was one of their favorite things to do. Now they're like, when are we going to do that again? Like, oh, we're going to do chicken nuggets next. Is what we're doing next. We're going to see who's got the best chicken nuggets in town. You know, so it's just fun things I want to do with them that I'm older now that I know to do with them. You know? Sure. You know, but my other 2 kids, Emma and Eli, grandson, they're big hockey people. They love hockey, especially Eli. And I took all 3 of them to a Cannon County basketball game the other night at Cascade. And them being hockey fans, don't see much scoring. Yeah. Little Eli is 6 years old. Every time Cannon County scored, he thought it was a goal, man. He's just, well, all 72 points was that same way. I thought, dude, you're going to be wore out by tonight. But we got home, he told his mom, you got to go to one of those games. You got to go to that. Yeah. Well, she was a high school cheerleader. She'd been to all those games, you know. So it's just fun to watch his face. And yeah. And I got pictures on my phone of them, me knowing Jared like I know, got down on the floor after the game, and all the players give them high five off the floor and stuff, and they was all sitting there high fiving them. It's just stuff that I want them to do and enjoy, and you know, try to do fun things with them. Yeah, that I did with my kids. I mean, we always took, like Eagleville volleyball won the state tournament this year. I took Cash to it because I want him to know what it looks like to be a winner. I want him to understand what kind of work it takes to be that way. You know. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll go through life trying to deal with this. But I don't know, as far as the foundation is, I want it to grow. I want it to be a center point for me. It probably won't, and this is no knock on Rachel, it won't be for her. Helping me will be her focus point. But as far as speaking, and I tell people my wife don't come, it's not because she don't want to relive the story. Yeah. She's got to heal as much as I guess any person can, and she's got to deal with it the way it works for her. Yeah. And I would never criticize her over it. You know what I'm saying? We were both, she said, I don't understand why it helps you, but I want to help you do it. You know what I mean? I want to help you do. But now the truth is this, if she went with me and she was in back of there and she's bawling, I'll stop. I'll shut it off. I'm not here to hurt my wife. I'm not. She's been through enough. You know, I'm not here to do that for her. I'm not here to, and like this year, and they said, hey, at the car show, you need to speak about Shelby, because I don't want to be that guy where everybody says, oh, here he comes talk about it. I don't want to be that guy. But I said, okay, I'll say some few words about Shelby again this year. And we had it on Cash's birthday weekend. He was turning 10. And so I was talking about Shelby and stuff like that. And I turned and looked at Rachel, where Cash was standing next to Rachel, and he is bawling. I just shut it off. I say, hey, let's sing happy birthday to Cash. His birthday's tomorrow. That's what I did. I mean, I'm not here to hurt his feelings about his mother. Yeah. I'm not here to, look, she made a mistake. And I've read people, I mean, like when you start doing this stuff, you start reading other people's outtake on it, you know what I'm saying? And I've ruffled some feathers by saying, I don't let Shelby off the hook. I'm not here to blame so-and-so. I'm not here to blame this. I'm not here to blame Murfreesboro. I'm not here to blame Woodbury. I'm not here to blame anybody. your kid's at fault. So some of these parents that want to say, well, so-and-so killed my, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But your kid's at fault some.
Yeah.
A lot.
There's responsibility.
Yeah. And for those who don't want to shed that light yet.
That'd be tough to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's the truth. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear my kid made the fatal decision. But you did.
Right.
And I hate it. I mean, if I was there, I mean, what if the dude takes it instead of Shelby?
Yeah.
Then his parents, I would hope would be, I would think would be.
That's right. That's right.
I could see that. I mean, how could you not blame them?
Yeah.
I mean, I can sit there and almost said his name. But I try not to bring up names. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
Because they may change their life around. You know what I'm saying? I hope they do for them. You know what I'm saying? But now, if I seen the guy, I don't think I would unless he said the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I would talk to him. I mean, I don't look. Whatever happened. I wasn't there, so I don't really know everything. What I don't understand is why you left her. That would be my question to him. Look, whatever happened. Why did you leave her? Mm-hmm. That tells me you're not a decent person. You're not even a good person. You left her. Look, you could have called my wife. You had her number. You had her phone. You could have called and said, hey, Shelby's at the hospital. Take Shelby to wherever hospital they were taking to her out of Laverne. I don't even know where that had been, but at least say that. But I don't have to live with that. He has to live with all that.
Yeah.
That's his life.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, look, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah. It gets to go longer than you think sometimes. You think, oh, an hour, that's a long time. But then you start talking, you're like, man, I have been here for.
Yeah. It's hard. This is, it's a good conversation. It's a bad story, but you tell it well, you know? And I can just sitting and listening to you talk, I can see that you continuing to do this and continuing to go and talk to people, it will make an impact. It will. Because I agree with what you said. I mean, if this doesn't move you, you don't have a heart. I mean, it's like, you got other issues you got to fix.
Yeah.
This one's different for me. This was tough because, I mean, clearly, obviously I didn't know her the way you know her, and I knew her under a certain set of circumstances. But I mean, I can still see her face talking to her. I can still, the just her attitude in a positive way.
Yeah.
Always respectful to me, those types of things.
Right. And as her parents, that's always good to hear. I mean, she was always good to everybody. Now, she wasn't always great to me and Rachel.
Yeah.
But I thought that was the way in every household. Your kid's smart off to you. You can't do something. I'm saying that's just life.
Right.
But I wanted all my kids and my grandkids to be respectful to other people.
Yeah.
Treat them with respect.
Well, and that's why I said, I can't remember now if I said it when we were recording or beforehand, but when I met her as her lawyer, you could tell this is a good person.
Yeah.
The way that she talked to me and dealt with me, and I mean, no problems.
Yeah. And I always thought back then when we first got to know you is that me and Rachel tried to be the back seat to her. And we're not here to fight for her. We're not here to, I remember coming to your office over off the square.
Yep.
And Shelby was with us, and we're just kind of like, y'all talk it out. And we're just, and Shelby, and that's what she was good at early on was, what should I do? I remember being in Candy Cane Court with you. Mm-hmm. And her calling me over there. Because I never walked over in her business. Right. She's going to call me. If you don't call me, I guess I need to know. I'm not going over and putting my input on her because that's just me hovering her and thinking I'm going to get her out.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the first time we walked into Candy County Jail. She was in jail for the first time. And we walked in there. She said, "You here to get me out?" And I said, "I didn't get you in here."
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's my fault you're in here, I'll get you out. But I don't know. And what's sad is, I don't know if you know Ed Brown.
Oh yeah.
He was our neighbor. He watched Shelby. Shelby and his daughters grew up together. They were Shelby's at their house all the time. And it broke his heart. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I guess through this whole deal, the last 6 months or whatever, the people that have come to me and said, she was a great kid, good girl, great friend, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable the people that knew her, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know you. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. She had an impact.
Yeah. She and some people have said she was she didn't like to be outdone. Her competitiveness kind of went over into her, I can do more than you. I can do, which is a bad deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I think not just for her, for every addict, when you get cloned, let's say Shelby's last time was 18 months clean in a workhouse. I think this gets some addicts when they come back out and go back. Let's say, I don't know how to even measure drugs. And you try to do when you left off, well, that'll kill you.
Right.
You got to work your way back, is what I'm understanding. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Like I say, I don't know. I just know this. I will leave with this. I knew Shelby very well. And Shelby would tell you, my dad can tell you more about me, and he can find me in the town of Murfreesboro within 30 minutes. And I can find her. I would not BS her any. I'm going to tell you the truth, Shelby. This is the way it's going. I would tell her, I'm not giving you any money. I'll take you to supper. I'll take you to lunch. I'll give you gas to your car. Meet me at the gas station. Whatever you want to do, I'll do it. We went to lunch a couple times. She's folding up, taking some up with it. No, you're not taking it with you. I'd rather throw it away than you feed your boyfriend. That's just who I was.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, you can judge me. I don't care. I'm not feeding your crony boyfriends. I'm not doing it. Well, I was going to eat it later. I don't know if you're telling me the truth or not. You've lied about so much. I don't know. And so I tell people, this is what I hammer home. Your parents love you, and trust the hardest thing you'll ever win back. Just because you've done it right one time.
That's true.
That's not trust.
Yeah.
You got to keep doing that. And I keep saying I'm going to finish with this. I say this too. You want when you're an addict and you're trying to get clean, and you want patience and grace from your parents. That's what you want. You want to be patient with me. Don't be hammering me. Don't be. That's fine. But be patient and gracious with your parents, because they don't understand you. Mm-hmm. So you want it, you got to give it. That's just the way I think about it. If you want patience and grace, give patience and grace. Yeah. So, I don't know. There's so much I've learned, and just by talking to people. But the people who knew Shelby, I'm like I told you the other night in Waverly, that kid knew her. I'm like, all the way over here. I spoke in Murfreesboro, and a guy said he knew her from the streets of Murfreesboro. He was in McMillan that night.
Yeah.
I knew your daughter. Golly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's clear that Shelby had an impact on the people that she encountered. And I think that you're going to continue to have that impact as you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And the only thing I ask, if people listen to this, or you or whoever, if there's any place that somebody wants me to go speak, just reach out to me. I'm on the Shelby Jordan Foundation on Facebook. Just send me a message on it. I'm trying to get a website set up. I just haven't done it yet, but there's so much to do. And so there's some things I don't know. I'm not an electrician guy. I don't know anything about the website, or I'm just I'm just trying to figure it out. But I always tell, just reach out to me, and I'll speak anywhere. I don't care if it's one person there or 100 people. It don't make me no difference. One person needs to hear it.
Right.
And if I can help one person, that's what. So, and I said this, what if I do all these speeches and the only person I help is my grandson?
Yes. Well, yeah.
What if that's the one I help? Keeps him out of the trouble. Right. It's worth every dollar I spend on it.
That's right. Everything you're doing.
Yep. If I can keep him out of the problems his mother had. And so I don't know how this works, but you worry about him. He was born with no drugs in his system, but she done him while he was there. You know what I'm saying? So you worry about him. Is he going to have that same, what do you call that? Same, can be addicted pretty easy. I mean, he's got an addictive attitude or addictive behavior or whatever. So I kind of worry about what he's doing. But he's a great kid. He's a great kid.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. Shelby Jordan Foundation on Facebook. People can find you.
Yep.
If people listen to this and know me, they can contact me and I can get them in touch with you. Yep. That's super easy.
Yep.
But Dennis, I appreciate a lot you taking the first day of 2026 to sit down with me and talk about stuff. It's not easy to talk about. But as I said, you present it very well.
Well, I appreciate it.
And it's information that people need. So I appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate you inviting me and let me do it. Get my word out.
Thank you very much.